Hey guys, Fice here, and today we're going to be doing an impressions video on Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Now this is a game that I've been looking forward to ever since it was announced on Kickstarter. It is basically done by the creator of the original Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which was an absolute amazing game and a classic. I absolutely love that game. We actually played that game not too long ago on the stream, and I absolutely loved it. So the fact that he's coming back and he's introducing another Metroidvania game that looks absolutely amazing in regards to the graphics and quality. It looks like it has a 3D cel-shaded kind of feel to it, which really looks really cool. So I can't wait to see more updates on this, but they did provide a lot of content that I'm actually going to share with you guys on the internet that we can see and go from there. The first thing I noticed when seeing the gameplay that I really enjoyed is that they obviously basically adapted and taken all the elements that they've learned from Symphony of the Night and applied it, such as the backstep. That is actually one of the buttons you see when you first look at the video and see all the configurations that they give the character and how they play. They obviously have sword attacks, kind of like to Alucard style. And the one thing I did want to mention in regards to this game and how it looks and how beautiful is that it's almost as if they read my mind, because my favorite color is purple, and like if you see a lot of the artwork that comes here, all the stuff is purple. Like even the power-ups are purple, which I absolutely love. Like I swear to God, like this is like one of those games where I just love seeing this color and how vibrant it looks, and their utilization of it really makes it look nice. And it's not like they went too abusive with it to the point where it's like, oh, this is insane amount of purple. It's just they put it all in the right places. The candles definitely add a nice touch to the game and gives a different effect from what we used to see from the standard red kind of candles that we usually look at. So I definitely got to say that I do love that type of aesthetic that they provided. You can also see that in a lot of the gameplay, you can switch between a variety of weapons, and they do actually have angle changes, kind of like how Alucard did when he does it. I don't know if there's going to be that much utilization when you try to change the angle of an attack for a dagger, but it does provide that capability still. That's just a default configuration that they give. But you can see that by just getting some of these poles that you're actually acquiring these new skills that you can use. This specific area, it looks like if the game is like this, where it gives you all these skill sets right off the bat, that'd be kind of crazy to see how that goes. Because usually with Metroidvania games, what you see is you have to do a lot of back traveling to kind of get a skill. Then, like, basically you're going through an area, you see you're at a dead end, then you have to go get that skill from some other place and then backtrack to it. But like right now, they're just showing that we're getting a lot of the default skill sets that we get in all the other Metroidvania games, like double jumps and such. So I want to see what happens. I don't know if this is just kind of a demo purpose kind of thing, or if this is the type of skill sets that they're going to provide in this area. So it's really cool to see this, and like the type of creatures that basically, it seems like the creatures have a variety of animations when it comes to dying. Their parts break down. They're like fleshed out 3D models. They're not just like, they don't look like they're 2D sprites in this. So it's a 2D game, but with a 3D type of effect. So I thought that was also really nifty. The next thing I want to talk about really for the most part is the leveling up system that they have, which basically it's what we're known and what we're familiar with. But when you level up, it looks and it just seems to be really amazing when you do get that feeling of leveling up. They really gave you that accomplishment aesthetic where it feels like it's something very important when it happens. So it's pretty cool. Even like just getting the different abilities from killing different creatures is pretty cool. So I like to see how many monsters they're gonna add to this game and how many different spell sets they're gonna give us. As you can see, there's also an inventory system, which is really cool to kind of go. I want to see if they add the aspect of certain armor sets allowing you to get past certain areas. And the reason I say that is because if you remember Castlevania Symphony of the Night, there was a certain section, this section right here, where you actually needed the spiked armor to actually get further in the game if you didn't know about this weird nuance trick where basically you basically keep taking hits till you're about to die, and then you get resurrected, and you temporarily have invincible frames to actually open the magic sealed door. But like this isn't a thing this wasn't the way you were supposed to go about it, but like the idea is essentially like there's an obstacle you need to get past, and the only way you're gonna get past it is if you have that specific item. So I'm wondering if in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night they're gonna introduce that aspect, because that would be something really cool, and see how they can get really elaborate with the game. You can tell even like looking at these two games like one after the other or side by side, like it's insane how far technology has come, especially when it comes to like rendering these beautiful games. Like you look at this game and you see the detail and lighting effects on the bells in this tower, and it just looks absolutely amazing. It almost seems like it pops out of the game, which is pretty legit and awesome. And there goes those amazing candles that I love. Those things are just did she just whip it? She just whipped it, guys. Oh snap. Alright guys, yeah, I'm not gonna play too much of that, because then all of a sudden we get copyrights and then there's issues. So but yo, she has the capability of actually wielding a whip, which I don't recall if usually there's characters that actually alternate between items like that. Usually if you're like using swords, you're kind of using swords and knives and like basically objects that are just basically vertical, horizontal. So the whip looked very interesting. It actually gave like a crescent type of attack range, which was pretty cool. So I don't know if I would actually be rocking the whip, but it was interesting. And apparently she also uses her feet. I do remember like in Symphony of the Night, Alucard used to use like fist. He used to go like fisticuffs and stuff, like my boy was Rocky Balboa. So that's pretty cool. So there is a dynamic amount of type of fighting styles you actually can use in this. In this case it was kicking, swords, knives, heavy swords apparently, and then other swords. So it's really cool to actually see these kind of things happen. The one thing that I do want to touch on as well is, and I really hope they do this, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to, because it is a Kickstarter game. The one thing that I think set Symphony of the Night different from all the other Metroidvania games was the voice acting. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people that would support me on this and say that, yo, the voice acting is what made Symphony of the Night Symphony of the Night. Dracula sounded amazing. Death sounded amazing. I just loved the dialogue between Dracula and Richter Belmont. That is like some of the best content you'll ever hear in a video game, hands down, in my opinion.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world!
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Perhaps the same could be said of all religions.
So the dialogue, yo, I gotta say, it was really hype for what it was back in the day. I think it was absolutely amazing. So I'm kind of hoping that when they do this game, I know it's not Konami, but I really do hope that they at least are able to implement some voice acting. I did see some stuff in regards to voice acting when you fight one of the bosses. Well, it was more like of an introductory of a boss speaking, which I thought was interesting, but I would love to see that type of one-on-one dialogue, which would actually be really amazing.
ブラッドステール。
From what I've seen so far in regards to the bosses and their mechanics, they actually look fairly well done. They look really interesting on how each one has separate attributes. They only showed two specific bosses. They first showed this one who is an umbrella chick who freaking shoots a lot of blood at you, but clearly, like, a lot of the umbrella attacks that she does you have to be aware of, and there's strategy to it. So I do like the variety of movesets that she has to kind of actually give a challenge. Like, it's not something that you can just kind of go around willy-nilly. So I do like that you need to analyze the bosses to figure out what you're supposed to do with them, because they definitely do have a lot of cool animations, and you just have to be mindful of what's going on. Besides this boss, the other boss they showed was on a ghost ship, which was really cool. What I did like about this boss was that they really did a really good job in making you feel as you were really small and inferior, like basically when you're fighting this huge target creature. But just by analyzing the fighting mechanics on what's going on here, it seems like maybe all bosses are like this, which is a really good step up to the game and the series, is that they're introducing multiple phases for all the bosses, which wasn't always a thing in Symphony of the Night. Even on the early fights with the other bosses, like the early fights, they, you know, one boss you would just basically know their routine, and it's just a fixed set, and then after that it would be it. But it looks like they're introducing a lot of separate phases, so you kind of need to understand how you're supposed to fight in each section of the battle, which I really thought was cool. But this was the last boss that I was able to see, and I gotta say that I'm really enjoying all the content, and I'm loving what they're doing with this game so far. The release date for this game is to be March of next year, if I recall correctly. I'm gonna verify that just to make sure. Yep, it is March of 2018, so we still got a bit more to wait, but honestly, it's not too far. It's not too far behind, and if they keep doing exactly what they're doing, I think they're gonna do an absolutely amazing thing with this product. I really am looking forward to seeing what's happening, guys. If you guys did want to support them, they do have a Kickstarter, so definitely join them if you want this game to, you know, just to give some support if you did love it. I'm definitely gonna pick up this game because I'm gonna want to play it, so I'm gonna definitely support them. I really want to see what happens with this game. I'm gonna probably pick it up for the PS4 when it does get released, so you'll definitely see us playing this game in the near future when it does get released, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. But that kind of wraps up the video on Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Hey guys, if this is your first time here, definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts were. I really love reading the thoughts that you guys put. It means a lot. Thank you guys so much for taking out the time for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!